All right. Supposedly we are live, all the way
Are we
live.
live? Chat, I said hello. If you see my hello, I know we're doing something right.
Hello, hello, hello.
Somebody asked me the other day, they're like, what is the henlo thing? And I'm like, do you not follow animals on Instagram? Like,
I mean, some
I
people may
mean,
not.
it's funny how that all works. Yeah.
Let's see.
Oh,
Anyone
W Scott is one
there?
is here. All
Oh,
right.
good.
Yay.
Yay. Hi, guys. We're back on a Monday.
Let's see, what else
Monday,
do I say
Monday.
besides hello? I say hello
Oh,
sometimes.
hello. Okay.
Uh-huh. Yeah. What else? I guess
Mm,
that's kind of I mean, anything that's a diversion from hello. I think those are the two. I say hello all the time.
you do? Oh,
Hello.
okay.
Oh yeah.
Hello.
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay. Uh,
I'm
I'm
sure
like, I
half the
just say
time
yo.
someone's like, I don't know what she's doing and I don't care to ask. They just think I'm weird.
I mean,
Hi,
let's see. I
Zoe.
may do yo. What's up? I don't know. I kind of.
Oh yeah, I mean when it comes to other words, lots of yo, lots of sup.
I definitely do stick with hello though. Hello, or I might go hello. Give it some sort of
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
inflection. But I do
Mm-hmm.
stick with the HELLO. I'm not bending it like you are. I'm not giving personality. I'm just like hello.
Well,
Boring, I
there's an
know.
inflection, personality inflection.
Yeah.
Hello. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
Sometimes I will do hola, just
Mm-hmm.
because we live in California.
Mm-hmm.
I don't really do
That's true.
Korean as much because I know most people won't know, but I could maybe
What
start.
what is what is the general salutation of just
Oh, yeah, 안녕하세요. 안녕하세요.
and that's just like
안녕하세요.
casual hi.
Hmm? Oh, it could just be 안녕. Yeah,
Okay.
안녕. 안녕. Yeah.
Annyeong.
Some
That's cute.
people
I like that.
like to say a lot of greetings in both like in Asia are like, have you eaten yet? It's almost like, how are you? But they say, have you eaten yet? Because it's a
Like
priority to
I
make sure
care about you.
I care about you. Yeah, yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. I want to make sure you're well nutrition, but that's the greeting. Some people are like, oh hey, have you eaten yet? In the language. It's like, oh, because that's so important. Make sure you eat first and then, get your
It's funny.
sustenance.
I love just colloquialisms in language. I mean, it's
Mm-hmm.
just one of my favorite things. Even though I can't study every language,
Mm-hmm.
and where I live now in LA is, I mean, most of my neighbors are not necessarily Mexican, but Mexico, Central America.
Mm-hmm.
And so, we got some people kind of look at me and they're like, good morning. But most of the time, they're like, we don't know.
Yeah.
You might be a Spanish speaker too.
Yeah.
And so we get, and I've noticed Buenos dias is a very, that's a way to say good
Mm-hmm.
morning, for anybody who Spanish 101. But I noticed that my neighbors and some of us were kind of all on the same circuit in the morning. I'm walking my dog, they're walking their dog
Mm-hmm.
or jogging or, doing whatever they're doing. So a lot of familiar faces at this point. And
Yeah.
people say, Buenos dias.
Buenos
And
dias. Okay.
yeah, like they drop the first S but not the second.
Mm-hmm.
And the first time I heard that, I was like, just, the way one person spoke. And I'm like, no,
Mm-hmm.
everybody's doing it. So I looked it up on the internet and, just sort of like, is this like just a regional thing? Like, what is this? I've just never heard
Mm-hmm.
this before.
Yeah.
And buen dia is something that, depending on, the Spanish region that you're in, is also very popular and kind of spans the whole day. It doesn't really mean good morning. It's
Oh,
just sort of like, good day. Yeah,
okay.
good day. But that's not what
Yeah.
they're saying. They're saying, bueno dias. And so the next time someone says that to me, I'm going to be like, stop here. Tell me more. Tell me more.
Please,
I love it.
why is it
Yeah.
this? Oh,
I think it's just like a slang.
mm.
Just the way that
Yeah,
thing, the
I think so too.
way languages evolve over time. Hold on a second.
Yeah. I think my video, you guys, is a little slow sometimes, but as
It
long as
actually
the
looks
audio.
much better for me now.
Oh, okay. I just noticed I was like off video wise. I was off like a second or something like that. But as long as the audio is good, that's all I really care about mostly. So sorry if I'm a little
Well, your audio sounds good to me.
fantastic.
So that is there. Yeah, Sarah TW, it's definitely dialect, which is it's fun. Even though I don't do a lot of Spanish study these days because well, when I say I'm studying French, I'm very casually studying French on Duolingo every couple of weeks. But Spanish when I was growing up, that was it was all around me, and I took it in school.
Yeah.
I mean, I was definitely putting in some work. And when I was in certain countries in South America many years ago, I was kind of like, me and my traveling partner, he didn't know any Spanish. He took Latin in school, so he was like, I don't know. I mean, I just like I know a language that like won't help me at all. Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm like, he can kind of help you, but yeah, he was like, I don't know one word of Spanish.
In church.
So I was like, you're right, yeah, in church or some poetic whatever, studying some old scrolls. But I was like, I'll take care of us. We'll be fine. And there were certain things that people would say, and I was like, I don't know what you're saying. And it was like a very specific, question answer type thing. And it's all just regional stuff where I'm like, oh, so pusho is pollo. Got it. Got it. It just sounded like I didn't know what you were saying.
Yeah.
Chicken.
Yeah.
You were saying chicken.
Yeah.
And once you get it, you're like, okay, it's not that big a deal. But yeah.
Yeah, there's thousands of dialects. There's, in the Philippines, there's thousands of dialects. In Korean, same thing. It's weird because you'll see them talk to each other like, wait, what? Oh, you're from Busan. You're not from Seoul. They have different accents. They have different ways of saying hello. Even, it's like,
yeah.
Okay, yeah. Just
regional. Even in English, it's like if you, I don't know. I mean, you'd have to be
howdy.
You'd have to be going really hard in English, like, I don't know, maybe some deep, areas of like Upper Ireland. Even then, I don't know.
You're talking about UK. Okay. Yeah.
Well, just English in general. Just if someone's going really fast and there are a lot of, isms that I'm not familiar with, sometimes I'm like, come again? What was that? What was that sentence that you said in the language that we both speak? It happens sometimes.
Oh yeah. I can't tell you how many times I can't understand Monty Python when I because the English or the it's so thick, and so I'm just lost. I'm like, I get it's funny, but I don't understand. So I gave up. I was like, nope, I don't get it. And I trust that people who are loving it and laughing get it, but I'm the one who doesn't. So I'm like, pass, move on. And there's some thick accents that I'm just like, okay.
Yeah, where I'm like, I'm getting the gist, but I don't really know what you said.
Yeah.
I'm simply getting the gist, which is funny because I think a lot of people who are learning a second language and are being, getting good at it, you're in that limbo mode for a while where you're like, I know what we're talking about, but I'm missing certain key things.
Yeah.
That
letters
part
are
of
dropped.
Really, really being fluent.
Yeah. Letters are dropped. And then now I'm thinking about Fargo, up there in the north, how that, I love the way they sound, but, there's some, the accent is just, sometimes I don't understand, or they have, certain words that I may not use.
Right. Or even if you hear the word and you're like, I know what you said, but I don't know what that means. It's like, what's that expression? I do that all the time, and someone's like, "You've never heard that before?" And I'm like, "No." Or if I did, I was just like blissfully unaware. I didn't know what you were saying.
I'll be like, "Yo, Sarah, what's good?" And that's like, "Hello."
If you said that to me, I'd be like, "Oh, life's fine."
Yeah, yeah, right. I mean, that's just that's probably the lamest example, but I'm just trying to think of other hellos in our country that are, sup. Anyway,
Yeah.
we can
Well,
go on this. So
we could go on and on. It's one of my favorite topics. So thank you for
listening.
indulging me. Yes. But yeah, no, we've got a good Apple Vision show coming up, episode 42, which means the answer to everything. So it's gonna be a
Oh,
good one.
for
It's gonna be a
reals.
good one.
For
Yeah.
reals.
But
All right.
yeah, Eileen, whenever you're ready, let's do her.
Okay, count me down and then we'll go.
All right. Apple Vision Show, episode 42, coming up in 3, 2. Hi, everybody. It is Apple Vision Show, episode 42. We are back and we are at it. I'm Sarah Lane.
And I'm Eileen Rivera.
Eileen, how is it going? I was about to say sup. For everybody.
What's good, Sarah?
Life is good, whatever. Holidays. For anybody who's not listening or watching our live stream, we were talking before the show started about just colloquialisms, regionalisms, things that people say, even if you're speaking the same language or sharing the same sentiment in a variety of ways. It's kind of the spice of life.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's just, I don't know, it keeps you on your toes. It makes me interested, like, where are you from? Even though for us, like, oh, you're from the United States, but you're just from the North and you say hello differently. But
yeah,
anyway, I love that stuff.
Totally. Yeah, totally. Sometimes I'm like, I don't have an accent. Everyone else does. And they're like, no, you do.
Yeah, you have a California. You have
sound
a West
like
Coast
you're from California. I'm like, yeah, but that's what everybody sounds like except you. which it never goes over well. I'm half kidding, but yes, I think it's fun and interesting, and it's how we all understand each other a little bit better. But of course, this is the show where we talk about all things Apple. All things that Apple might be doing in the future, Apple has done, what competitors to Apple are doing, and we're getting in some kind of interesting territory, Eileen, because Apple Intelligence, which, well, I guess officially rolled out in October, but only in the first of a staggered series of updates. We're getting some new stuff now. So 18.2 for iOS is introducing new AI features. This is something that my iPhone updated to last night, actually.
Okay. Wow.
I didn't even push it myself. Just plugged it in, went to bed, and I was like, oh, 18.2, huh? Yeah. And then, this Business Insider article that we'll link to in our show notes was like, okay, 18.2 expected this week. And so I was like, well, wait a second, I have it. All right, let's play around with some of the stuff. ChatGPT integration is live for me. That's something that when you go in your settings, if you go into Siri and Apple Intelligence, it's now for me an option down as an extension. It was easy to turn on. I have a ChatGPT account already, all good. But there are certain other promised fun AI tools, visual intelligence being one of them, and also Genmojis. Both of those I was like, oh yeah, let's play around with that. If I go to visual intelligence, which is, where is it? Does
it look like an app, or is it like on your I don't have it yet. I'm still on 18.1.1. I turned off the developer account on mine because
you did? Why?
Yeah, because it was burning through my battery so fast and I didn't like that. So I actually do have some battery issues in general with my phone. I feel like my phone heats up a little bit too much even without the developer account. So I don't know. There's moments where I'm not quite happy with this phone sometimes, but that's just, a minor thing. Thank goodness I can charge most of the day.
Yeah. I mean, battery life. Without a battery,
Mhm.
what good is
Oh,
anything?
mhm.
This is interesting. Okay, so before the show earlier today, I was like, oh, okay, so I don't have access to Playground yet. Now I do. It was one of
Oh,
those things where I guess I was on like a very short wait list type thing. So
nice.
describe an image or add suggestion from the list.
Okay.
Okay, so let me just describe an image.
Let's
Let's
do it
say
live.
yeah, let's do it. Let's do it live. A boxer dog who
Oh.
is eating ice cream
Ah, nice.
because Otis would love nothing more than Pup Cup at all times. All right, let's give it a try. Okay, it's doing its. Oh my.
It's fast. It seems like it's fast. It just happened.
I mean, yeah. Can you see this? Let me
Hold
see
on.
if
Let
I.
me let me go to a solo of you. Let's see. Oh, it's a little glary. But
It's
yeah.
a little glary.
I think I see something. Yes. A
Okay,
box.
so that doesn't look like him because he's not a flashy fawn boxer.
Right, right, right.
This is dog stuff. It doesn't matter. But they actually gave me a few options and they're really
Oh,
cute.
there's few more options.
Yeah, there's
Okay.
4 of them. Look at this one.
Oh. Oh my
Oh, a happy
gosh. The
pup. A
eyes
happy
and
pup.
it looks like a shocked puppy with a even bigger ice
Maybe
cream
getting a little bit of an ice ache.
helping.
Yeah,
Yeah,
that's
yeah.
so cute. Okay, so all right. How about that?
Yeah, that
I,
was really fast too.
y-
Like
oh
really
yeah.
fast.
Yeah,
Could you
that was,
modify it? Like, can you
let's
give it
see.
sunglasses? I'm just thinking because I
Edit,
see.
yeah, you can. You can edit
Okay.
it. You can give it some more prompts based on what you're working with.
Okay.
Okay, well, this is gotta love live shows. This is kind of fun. I was so sure that I didn't have this yet. I wonder if I have Genmojis because that was the
Oh,
other
you have
thing
to have that. Oh
that
my
it told
God.
me that I was, it would let me
Oh, yeah.
know when we were ready
Okay.
for Genmojis. So let's
Okay.
see. Well, let's
Who
try.
would you make would you make a personal one of yourself or of Otis or
Well,
I don't know what
so
I would do.
I have so you know how you can, if you take a photo of, let's say you take a photo of Seven the dog,
Mhm.
he's on a grassy field, but
Mhm.
his face looks really cute. You can, hard
Yeah.
tap and create a sticker,
Right.
which
Yeah.
basically, takes that part, what Apple
Mhm.
thinks you're trying to take out of the
Yeah.
overall photo, and you can use it in a variety of ways. And you can use that as a tap back reaction in
Mhm.
messages.
Yeah.
Somebody did that with me the other day because they had a picture of Otis, my dog. And I was like, how did you do that? And they were like, do you not like, don't you do an Apple show? And I'm like, excuse you. Okay. Sometimes there are certain features that, just I don't realize are so fun. I hear
Yeah.
about them and I'm like, do I really want to do that? But then as soon as they did that with me, I was like, oh, okay, that's going to be like my reaction to everything that anyone
Yeah.
says to me. Like, instead of like, the emoji reactions that, and Android folks, I'm sure you understand as well. But in iOS, it's like you got the heart, you got
Yeah.
the question mark, you've
Yep.
got the exclamation point, like wow,
Mhm.
you've got thumbs up, thumbs down, you've got haha, and that really counts for a lot when it comes
Yeah.
to just people being like, I get what you're saying, but I don't need to
Yeah.
like write something back to you right now.
Mhm.
Just the
Mhm.
heart is, like Eileen showed me a photo, heart. Or
Yeah.
me being like, exclamation point, that's a crazy photo, that kind of thing.
Yeah.
But to make it more personal is just, it just, I don't think it's something that, I think a lot of people just will be like, I don't know how to do that, or I won't take advantage of it.
Mm.
But just knowing
Well,
that you
until
can.
I feel like, well, it depends. Like, I don't want to categorize the older generation, but like, say, yeah, maybe the older generation, but then their kids start doing it, and they're like, oh, okay, you know what I mean? Like, that's how they'll,
Yeah.
communicate. So, I don't know. I think it's not something that you would immediately go. I don't think I even go to. I have a tap back of Seven, by the way, but I don't always go to that. I scroll and I'm like, well, nobody needs that tap. There's no reason to put him there when I just need to go heart, but
Right. It's
there
very
is creative
specific.
ways. Yeah.
It's specific.
But then you have to go
So
find your photo and make it and like, anyway, this becomes a whole thing.
I mean, it was pretty easy for me to do yesterday just because I was like, oh, I want to recreate what you just did. And I was like, oh yeah, this is actually really easy. I don't know why I haven't done this before. So I'm trying to figure out Genmoji, and maybe I'm crazy, but what I think you're supposed to do is write from, let's say a message prompt screen.
Yeah.
You now have Genmoji, and maybe it's just not turned on for me. What I do have is a variety of ChatGPT writing tools. So I've got proofread, rewrite, friendly, professional, concise, compose. I wonder what this is. Describe your change.
For me, I usually use friendly because that's just how I speak. And the
Better than
concise is a little-
antagonistic.
Yeah, well, the concise seems a little cold sometimes. So I don't know. I usually just do friendly, and I do it for fun too because I'm like, well, let's see how much friendlier it'll get, and it's actually pretty good. I'm actually I don't use it all the time, but I have an occasion. I'm like, yeah, this is way better than what I type. Go,
Yeah.
do it. So what do you got? You got something? Can you make one or?
I'm trying.
Yes, very mindful, very demure. Yes, that's what we're trying to be.
Very, very mindful. Describe your change. I don't know what my change is. What does that mean? Describe your change. Yeah, like if I'm going to send you a text message.
Yeah.
I haven't actually put your name in the to box, but
Okay.
I have an option to describe your change. Sarah has a beard. I don't know. I don't know what it means. Let's see.
Okay.
Writing tools unavailable. Try a longer selection. Okay.
Oh.
Yeah, I don't know what to do about that. I don't think that is at all Genmoji related, but this is fun. I like these tools. I think it's so easy to just be like, I use my phone to make phone calls, check my email, send text messages and receive them, take photos, and, maybe have a variety of social networks that I might check and, maybe tools that I use for work and some combination of all that stuff. That's kind of me. And it's easy for me sometimes to just be like, yeah, new tools, I'll get to that at some point. Because I don't really care because I don't know what I'm missing. But then when like for example yesterday where I'm like, I can make Otis a tap back. Now I'm like, okay, watch out world. Yeah, that kind
You're
of
going
stuff.
to be having all kinds. You'll have Otis, scared, Otis happy, Otis angry, Otis staring at you. You'll have different tap
Otis
back.
thumbs up, Otis thumbs down.
And I'm just like, it's actually really small, those tap backs. I'm like, can you even I mean, you can see, but sometimes I'm like, depending on the photo,
It does matter. Yeah.
really tiny. It's really tiny.
I think it works well if it's like someone's face or something very specific. Otherwise you're like, what is that? I don't know what that is. And you
It seems
can't
like a white blob.
you can't
Make it bigger. Yeah. Well, that's fun. You'll have to share some is it Genmojis? I always forget.
I think
Genmojis
it's
when you make
Genmoji.
them.
Genmoji.
Okay.
Yeah. Yeah. Like Memoji was like me, but emoji, but me, which is still something that Apple allows you to do. But now we've got Genmoji, or apparently we do. I don't know. but I did make a cool image of my dog eating ice cream, and it was real fast. So there you go. We're going to talk about after we take a quick break in a couple minutes. We're going to talk more about Apple Vision Pro, which we talk about on the show, obviously, but we just happen to have a lot of Apple Vision Pro feedback from some of you and news in general. But real quick, Apple released Vision OS 2.2 Beta 4 ahead of its full launch. I believe this is just for developer accounts, which I do not have.
Okay.
So that's not something that I can play with. I will tinker around later today and I'll report back if for any reason I'm mistaken and I have access to some cool stuff. But it does, it has some upgrades that would be notable to folks. To the Mac virtual display, you get wide display mode, ultra wide display mode, audio routing through the Vision Pro itself, rather than through other means, and a higher display resolution, which everybody's gonna like. So there's a lot going on there. I think the whole idea that, at least from the folks that I know who are excited about this, what's being touted is this just makes, if you're going to work and use the Vision Pro to do that work and to have this almost, not 360, but almost 180 display. This is how you're going to get closer to that.
This is the big update. This is the update you want. Yeah.
Yeah.
Because
Exactly.
that, I mean, the way it's describing things, it's like the wide display, but then there's the ultra wide plus the higher display resolution. I'm like, oh my God, I'm really going to see everyone's pores, like
Yeah.
give it to me. Yeah. The sweat and everything. But anyway,
I will say that
ahead.
because I still, I always talk about how I love the MetaQuest, and the MetaQuest 2 is the one that I use regularly, and the resolution isn't great. I'm just used to it because I use it specifically for like 2 workout apps, and that's all I use it for. I mean, I sometimes just play around and see what else is out there, but that's what I use it for. And it is not crisp. It really isn't. But it also is sort of like, I'm working out. I mean,
You don't need it. You're jumping up and down.
I'm
You're
jumping
not
up
like
and down. Yeah, like
focusing.
me,
Yeah.
if I'm, I've got these virtual bats that I'm holding, and I'm smashing these like balls of fire coming at me type of thing. I don't really need full resolution. It doesn't matter. But I notice it. And I really notice it when I go back and forth between that and the Vision Pro. The Vision Pro is just like in a whole other league.
Right.
And that is significant for anybody who has tried on a variety of these headsets, where they talk about, what your field of vision is going to be, and what sensors are involved, and all of that sounds a little bit like spec mumbo jumbo, but it really matters when it comes to stuff like this. So that's part of the reason I think the Vision Pro is and we'll talk about it in a minute, but Apple is definitely struggling a little bit with the Vision Pro. I think sales have been lackluster, and anything that gets people to understand that it is a premium product for a premium price, for sure, is probably what's best for Apple. All right, so Eileen, before we take a quick break, I just wanted to say that I think you and I both did this when iOS 18 came out.
Yeah.
Is we at least enabled notifications that had the AI summary. This was back in October. AI summary of, what that email might have said, what that person might have said to you on Facebook Messenger, what somebody might have sent to you in iMessage, what your friend might have said lately on Threads, et cetera, et cetera. The whole thing with Apple Intelligence is, and this is opt-in. It won't do it unless you want it to, but you can opt into having summarized notifications, which you can do on macOS too. But on iOS specifically, that's where I get most of my notifications. Like when I wake up in the morning, I'm like, all right, what happened? PayPal sent me a thing. Like, I got some emails. Like, I got a text message on WhatsApp in the middle of the night from somebody who lives in Amsterdam. So obviously I wasn't awake, that kind of thing. And I have, at first I was like, oh, this will be cool. Let's just turn it on for everything and then figure out when it works better than when it doesn't. And I'm not sure it works well for me at all.
Okay. Yeah, you don't think it's useful. You don't think that
Well, I think it's well. So here's what happened. So when I first turned it on, I knew what I was doing, but then I got a notification within the first couple of days, and I was like, oh gosh, what is this email? Come to open up the email, and I'm like, oh, it was just summarizing the email that addressed quite a few things.
Mhm.
And I got a Facebook message from a friend who I hadn't spoken to in a while, and it was like, you know, Thanksgiving bad. Mom is sick. Like it was like a weird. Where I was like, oh gosh, something horrible has happened. I opened it up and I'm like, oh no no no. It was just a long summary, and the notification that, of course, is only a couple of sentences that you're seeing
Yeah.
in
Okay.
notifications. It just condensed it to a point where I was like, that was a little out of context.
Yeah.
I wouldn't. I don't want that. It was there was no bad news to be had, but it kind of
But it
sounded
scared you.
it
Right.
sounded
And it
weird.
jolted you.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it just
Yeah.
it just didn't sound right.
I
Especially
mean,
when I looked at when I unpacked the message, I was like, oh, we're just talking about like what we did on Thanksgiving. It sounded strange, and
yeah.
I think, Apple and, any AI LLM is,
Mhm.
guilty of doing that sometimes, where you're like, "Whoa, that's not what that's that is not the summary that
Yeah.
I
I
would have
mean,
asked you to do."
I think for emails, it's a little dicey when it is an important message, or it could really miss the context of the message. Like for news, like for instance, I just got one from Google. Okay, the Bills 42 and the Rams 44, I guess. And then I got the next
Yeah, that
line
was
is
a
like
crazy
Apple.
game.
Crazy game. So then the next line of this notification for news, Apple is reportedly planning to halt production of the Vision Pro headset. As we are talking about Vision Pro right now, I'm like, oh, I hadn't read that one. So in some cases, it can be somewhat useful, but like I think just for informational stuff, right? Like if you're using it for your emails or text messages, like that could get awry. I know when we first talked about this, somebody got broken up on with the text message, and it basically said that in the notification summary. And then the other one was
Mm.
like a bunch the
Oh,
staff was
that would be the
fired.
worst.
Remember? Yeah,
Can
because
you
they just read like a little bit of the text message, which just says
Yeah,
not into you or something. And so basically, like, do you need to
yeah.
open up that text message? But
That's
it's like,
that's what I'm talking
oh,
about. It's like, and maybe it was like a very thoughtful hi person that I've been involved with for a year, I think you're the best, blah blah blah. But instead the notification is like, not that into you. Goodbye.
yeah. Like they summarized it that way. It's like, oh God, or
Oh
even,
gosh.
the one about the staff getting fired, like which staff? My staff? That's whose staff? What, like no context. It's just
Yeah.
like, employees,
I think for some folks, and I've talked to there a few of my, just kind of contemporaries who use a lot of the same tools that I use, but for very different reasons. Especially
Mhm.
folks who are just, it's meeting after meeting, email on the road,
Mhm.
in an Uber, doing work in the car, that kind
Yeah.
of thing. I think a lot of the stuff is like at a glance, you're like, okay, so and so is
Mm.
getting on that project, and,
Mhm.
so and so responded to me, and I'll get to it later, but this is a good little overview. I think it does
Mhm.
work. I'm not saying that it doesn't work at all. But for me, I'm like, I don't know. I think I'm just gonna like turn it off.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
when I see an excerpt of an email that someone sent me, I'll just click into it and see what else they said. Like if
Yeah.
you summarize it, I'm gonna get confused.
So some of the notification summaries are a little bit bad for my waistline. So I have Paris Baguette app, and it says spread holiday cheer with exclusive offers. Try the new holiday cake challenge. I didn't. I wish I didn't know, but now I'm curious. What is the holiday cake challenge? And then I might go there now, which is very smart, and not maybe get the cake, but get something, and which I
Oh
didn't
man,
intend to have
do you
sugar.
have a
So
Paris baguette near you? Because I have like
yeah,
7
yeah,
near me.
yeah, oh yeah,
They're all
yeah.
over the place.
They are. They are. I like their stuff. I like their pastries. So
Yeah,
they're
it's
often
cute.
sold out.
Yeah. Well, all right. So before we get down into a pastry rabbit hole, which would be very easy for us to do, let's take a quick break and we'll come back with a little bit of a roundup from Apple Vision Pro news. So, Eileen, the Vision Pro, obviously, it's, you got the headset, you got to take the battery pack with you.
Hmm.
And the battery is as long as it is, and then
Yeah.
you gotta charge it at some point. What do you think
Hmm.
about the Vision Pro having a cellular connection?
My first reaction was, okay, I guess these are for road warriors. They're for people who at some point won't have access to Wi-Fi to connect their Vision Pro. I guess they're to me, I'm like, okay, they're for hardcore users. But how many people actually need this? And do the cellular companies want to open this up to just a few, people? And
Yeah,
how
yeah, yeah,
much money are
yeah.
they going to make out of this? Like
That
I'm not sure if it makes a business sense for the cellular companies. You know?
I wonder too. There was a time where, if you had good Wi-Fi, great, but you
Mm,
often did not. And
yeah.
so, having a cellular connection, which is
Mhm.
still true to this day, don't get me
Yeah.
wrong, but for me, like for in any given, let's call it Monday through Friday typical workday,
Yeah.
I don't really need a cellular connection. I'm on
Mhm.
Wi-Fi. I work from home.
Yeah.
It's solid. We're in good shape. Obviously, if I, take my dog out on a walk or something and I need to talk on the phone or something like that, or otherwise, have a cell connection, I've got it. But, Wi-Fi used to be a lot more elusive than I think it is now.
Mhm.
Even when you're out and about, you can, let's say I were to go to a friend's house. All right, well, they probably have Wi-Fi, or that coffee
Yep.
shop, well, they have Wi-Fi too.
Yep.
At the airport, and you can sort of pick
Go
and
on and on.
choose.
Yeah. Like, yeah.
Yeah, what Wi-Fi connections you feel comfortable with versus other ones, but yeah, the I think the any and my Apple Watch. This is a great
Mm.
example too.
Mhm.
When I first got it, I was like, let's do the cellular connection and just see, how much I need that, and I didn't. I didn't,
Yeah.
and the reason is
Yeah.
because I had my
Same.
phone that
Mhm.
has a cell connection. I mean, I do need that on my phone. So, and I always had the phone with me. I don't like leaving my phone at home. It makes me feel weird. So
Yeah.
even on like a hike or something, I mean, unless I'm like in a swimming pool, like my phone is
Oh.
going to be on my person
Mhm.
on some sort
Yeah.
of crossbody bag or something. So after a couple of months, I was like, yeah, I don't need cell connection on my Apple Watch because it's
Mhm.
tethered to my phone.
Yeah.
So when it comes to the Vision Pro, having a cellular connection, I think really what the biggest drawback to me would be is the battery life isn't good enough to just be like, all right, I'm out of the house, no
Yeah.
Wi-Fi for a while, let's have some
Mm.
fun, because it doesn't last that long.
Yeah. So like why bring all of that out and about and then it's just gonna, you know, be unusable in what? How long do you think? An hour or 30 minutes?
No, you could get more than an hour. Well, I guess it
Okay.
depends on what you're doing, but
Mhm.
I'm not going to like walk down the street watching a movie. I mean, I guess I
Yeah.
could, but that's not really, one of my goals. But yeah,
Mhm.
if I were to, let's say I was just, I mean, that's the thing about the Vision Pro is you can't, yes, you can walk around with it because you can see, even though
Mhm.
it confuses other people. They think you can't see them, but you can. You can see the world. And you can go totally immersive if you want to, but I don't know anybody who's doing that besides just
Yeah.
trying it once or twice and being like, oh, I did it. Otherwise, I would go somewhere and let's say the Wi-Fi is down. Maybe I'm
Mhm.
at a cafe, or maybe I don't know, I'm at a friend's house watching a movie. I mean, I can't think of that many scenarios where I would want to take the Vision Pro and be like, well, there might not be any Wi-Fi, so I need a cellular. Nah, I don't know. I don't know. I don't.
In someone's car if you're like commuting a long time maybe,
Well, I
but
guess
I
that's a
don't
good
know,
one.
like if
That's a
you're the
good one.
passenger,
Yeah, or
for
I'm
the
on a
passenger.
train or something. Yeah,
Yeah.
and there's no Wi-Fi capability or a bus or that sort of thing. No, I get that. That's true. That's definitely true. I mean, that would be
But
true
it's
for my
rare
phone or
though.
an iPad or
Yeah.
whatever.
The thing is, do you need that versus your phone that could answer emails? And I mean, maybe because of what they were working on, they need the vision, but also because of the ultra wide and the wide, like, are you going to get enough of the vision, or like, say I'm in the back seat, or is it going to like part of it is on the head of the driver?
Well, and even though that's not something that I've been able to try out myself, but that's a good point, is some of the stuff that has rolled out with Vision OS 2.2, how much does that further drain the battery? Because, you got to
Mm-hmm.
have that battery pack with you. I mean, you don't have to
Yeah.
like hold it onto your head, with the rest
Yeah.
of it, but it's like you're tethered to this battery pack. And the battery
Hmm.
pack, if you're near an outlet, not a big deal. But if you're
Right.
not, I would think that would be a cause of great anxiety to me.
Yeah. Yeah, it's interesting who it would be for, but obviously for someone, I don't know, maybe like at a construction site, but even then, wouldn't there be like Wi-Fi
I don't
somewhere?
know. Probably
Maybe
depends
not,
on the site.
Yeah.
Probably depends on the site. I mean,
Like the CEO comes and he wants to survey the site and he had it on his Vision Pro, because I'm always thinking it's definitely someone higher up that's going to have this. And he goes on the site, but there's no, Wi-Fi, but he's got a cellular connection and he can see and do his work and give his orders, or she give her orders. And I don't know. They're like, yay. What is the percentage, Sarah? It's like very little. I feel like it's
yeah.
like 0.5% of people who need this. And I'm
Yeah,
just
I
only
think I
thinking
think
of like
it's the idea
executive
that
level.
you can have it if you want it
Yeah.
is that's kind of the cool factor of this. And there are
Mhm.
probably quite a few of you out there being like, "No, here's the use case that you're not thinking of." And if you have one of those use cases, do send in feedback, because it's always good to know how people use these new tools that are emerging, and how they don't. Feedback at applevisionshow.com. Speaking
Sarah
of the vision, yeah.
TW says,
Oh,
oh,
yeah.
Sarah
Go.
TW says, perhaps this has international appeal in places that have more reliable cell reception rather than wired internet
Yeah, yeah.
on the go.
I
Yeah.
mean, absolutely. Actually, in my back bedroom, well, my only bedroom, but it's in the back of the house. Because where I am in my office is, it's they're on opposite sides. It's not
Mm.
that far away, but sometimes it gets a little squirrely with Wi-Fi in the back
Hmm.
bedroom. If I happen to be, I don't know, doing whatever. So I could see where this would, I mean, sure, I could do like Wi-Fi extenders, but if I was just like, oh, or cellular, because I would use the Vision Pro in other places too, where I would have the same problem, that would make sense. It just depends on what you got going on in life.
For sure.
So speaking of Vision Pro, this is merely a rumor, but it comes from Mark Gurman over at Bloomberg, who is kind of the Apple rumor guy, that the Vision Pro, well, that Apple, who makes the Vision Pro, is talking to Sony about possibly allowing PlayStation VR2 controllers to be compatible with the Vision Pro. Now, famously, the Vision Pro is all about like, hand haptic and eye movement feedback to do all the things that you want to do, which besides wearing the thing on your face makes it somewhat unusual. Now, controllers are what many of us are used to just doing everything with. When I say controllers, it's like our hands, our hands that type on keyboards, or use trackpads or handle a mouse. Or in the case of VR, we use the controllers to do a variety of things. It's sort of an added layer of just making things happen more easily. And I think
Yeah.
even though Apple is, I don't know. I can only imagine that the company is like, all right, listen, we've sold what, 500,000 units? So not a ton. I mean, not, as far as Apple goes, maybe a ton as far as something expensive as the Vision Pro that is a yet to be determined consumer product kind of thing.
Right.
But we're in the low stages here. Maybe something like that is going to spur more, game development. And even, people like you and me just being like, oh, okay, this is just a little bit easier to use something like Photoshop, right? If I'm using the Vision Pro to do stuff that's kind of precise, and maybe the hand and eye tracking movement is just, it's not quite right.
Yeah.
The controllers can help that a lot.
Yeah. I think, maybe they're thinking about going after a new, vertical, a new section of technology that is huge, right? And I think that makes sense. I think because, like you tell me too, Sarah, that you use it for entertainment. Well, gaming is entertainment. And so the amount of hours that people, game, I can't imagine with some of those, some of the like Sony PlayStation games that the hand would be enough, like having a virtual, having something that can really, like a controller, to control the game. I don't know, that I think there'd be more people using it as long as it was a cheaper model is kind of what I'm thinking. Like, I still don't think gamers are going to buy this model. It's got to be a cheaper model, but that's what all signs are pointing at, that maybe they'll make another one that's cheaper.
Yeah.
And then you throw in the gaming aspect, a real gaming aspect with Sony. That becomes compelling because I think a lot of gamers want to be immersed. You want to be immersed in that world. And this could be it, with the ultra wide, extra wide
I know
view, right? Maybe you'd have an advantage over your player 2 over there because you can see better. Who knows? So I don't know. It'd be interesting.
Yeah, I think Apple's going in the right direction with this. I don't know how much. Yeah, I mean, for Vision Pro, V1 users, I don't know how much this is going to change things. However, I think Apple is probably saying like, all right, you know what? We have to be a little bit more consumer focused here. The developer focused stuff is great. And a lot of developers have done all sorts of stuff with the Vision Pro. I always want to call it Vision Show because that's our name. That's our name. We did this to ourselves. But also, if people don't understand why to buy it, then it doesn't really matter what happens on the developer side. And this is something that the VR companies have been going through for years.
Yeah,
we're getting there. I mean, I would say that the I still call it Oculus, but the MetaQuest App Store is, I mean, there's a lot going on in there these days.
Yeah.
A lot more than it used to be.
Well, that's
and
good.
At the same time, it's also in a very different price point. I mean, it's $300 rather than $1,500. That is just, I mean, that is two different markets. You are not catering to the same market with stuff like that. It's like either like fun toy or development. This is how you work. This is how you watch movies for the rest of your life type thing. Speaking of watching movies, so Om Malik, many of you might know him from, the Giga Om days. And he writes a new newsletter, which is really good. It's called Crazy Stupid Tech. crazystupidtech.com. And he wrote something over the weekend that really resonated with me. And most of it is about the potential death of the browser as we know it. How does a browser work for you? What is it good for? How has AI and just different ways that we consume content changed what the browser should mean? But he started it out with this. He says, I'm addicted to Apple's Vision Pro. It's a nearly perfect entertainment device serving as my ideal television. Sure, I would like it to be lighter. I so badly wish that its battery would last longer. And I wish that you know who she is, Siri, worked better on it so that when I ask it a question about what I'm watching, it might present
Mm-hmm.
answers alongside the video feed from that Yankees game, for example. Going to
Mm-hmm.
Safari to look up that information separately is a real pain. He goes on to explain why, using the Vision Pro as much as he has, had him thinking about, all right, well, on a desktop computer, the browser is, you've got lots of options, lots of browsers out there, but
Mm-hmm.
you kind of know, you know how they work. We've been doing this for quite some time. Besides some extensions, browsers are the same that they've been for a long time. But when you get into something like, VR, AR, and, AI accompanied stuff, then the conversation starts to get a little different. So I thought that was interesting because we also got an email from Rob last week. Hi, Rob. Thanks for writing in, who said something really similar. He said, I have an Apple Vision Pro, and like Sarah, I mainly use it for watching shows and movies every day. It's my preferred way to watch. I would like to use it more, but I never seem to have the motivation to use it for other tasks. I'm looking forward to a Vision OS 2.2 and the widescreen Mac mirroring. I think a big part of the reason I don't use it more is comfort. I just got the Belkin strap. I'm hoping that helps. When watching content, I'm in bed and I'm laying down and it distributes the weight well and comfort is not an issue. But if I'm upright, it's much less comfortable and I notice the weight more. So I'm planning on giving it another go with other tasks when 2.2 comes out. Well, Rob, do tell us how 2.2 is working out for you when you're able to give that a go. But that's kind of a funny thing, Eileen. I've never once used the Vision Pro kind of laying in bed.
Oh, you haven't?
No,
Oh,
no,
oh.
no,
I know our
I don't
friend
really.
Lamar Wilson has, and he
Yes,
enjoys that. Yes,
he does.
yeah,
He
he
does.
is.
Yeah, we've talked about that. I don't really watch a lot. I have a TV in my bedroom. I mean, I don't know.
Mhm.
I kind of just, by the time I go to bed, it's the end of the day. I'm tired.
Yeah.
I often just sort of like, it's time to go bye-bye, until the next day.
Yeah.
However, I do agree with Rob that when I'm on my couch, if I'm on my couch is sort of more of a bed than, like something I sit upright in. I'm kind
Mhm.
of, I'm kind of
Okay.
laying, you got pillows type
Yeah.
thing. It's
Yeah.
loungy. And so when I'm watching TV, I'm looking at that wall.
Mhm.
However I want to like,
Yeah. However
change my
contorted you
position,
are, yeah.
the face always has to, the eyes are looking at the wall. And what one of the things I like about the Vision Pro is sometimes I'm like, I just want to lay like flat on my back with a nice pillow under me. And it's as if I'm looking at a TV on the ceiling. That's how I
Mhm.
feel like it is. It's a little
Mhm.
more immersive than that, but it offers you, I don't know, a different way to not get a
Yeah.
crick in your neck, after being like,
Yeah.
I've been on my side too long,
Well, that's the thing. If you're watching it on your side, maybe the alignment isn't good. But if you are, and you're making your body like, I don't know, as we get older, my alignment, I'm like, oh my gosh, I need to, lay down straight. But I'm this way. I've twisted my hips. But if you're just laying straight on your bed, looking up, not only hopefully you have good, support, so you have a straight spine as you lay down, but then you can enjoy without,
Yeah.
twisting in a weird way and then hurting
We should
yourself
really get a
later.
mattress sponsor at this point. And by the way, when you're enjoying that movie on your Vision Pro,
Exactly.
mattresses are us. No, yeah, yeah. I'll definitely try it in bed because I like the idea of that. I just have to sort of think about it. But
Mhm.
I am with Rob in the sense that if you're sitting upright, the way I am right now, and I was wearing it, I would probably, some people are like, oh gosh, I can't even deal with it after, 30 minutes. I could.
Yeah.
But maybe
Mhm.
after a couple hours, well, first of all, the battery would die. But otherwise, I'd be like, yeah, it's not even so much that it's heavy. It's that I think it's hot.
Oh, it gets hot? Okay.
Well,
Ooh.
it's not that it's overheating, but you're kind of suctioning
Yeah.
upper 2/3 of your face.
Okay.
And yeah, I mean, it's a
Ah,
machine.
yeah.
So there are all sorts of reasons where the uprightness feels like your time is limited before you're like, I want to take this off. But I'm with
Yeah.
you, Rob. Laying back, you can. I mean, gosh, I mean, you could lay on your stomach too, I suppose, if you the right ergonomics, but you can kind of do whatever, and that screen, whether you're watching a movie or whatever you're doing, it
Yeah.
is right there, and it's nice.
Yeah. It is the little that I used it, it's really nice for that. I do believe that it's a great entertainment device. I could see that. But working and like typing emails, I mean, I guess if you're using voice and if you're using SIRI to help, if
Well, yeah,
once she's better, because I
and
need
when things
to
get better, I mean, I know I'm jumping ahead a little too much into the future, but I don't use voice dictation as much as some people do. I do
mhm,
sometimes
mhm,
if it's convenient, but some people are like, no, I prefer that. That's
mhm,
what I do. And
mhm.
I just, like it's sort of like when did, the ballpoint pen go away in my life? I mean, I still have
Right.
one, but like only
Yeah.
one in my entire
Mhm.
house. It's like, when do I need it? I don't know. Once a year?
Yeah.
I really
Mhm.
don't need the
Mhm.
pen all that often. And I think we're gonna get to a point where we're like, remember keyboards?
Yeah.
Remember QWERTY keyboards? And we all just used them. And they were just a big part of everything. That's if I'm doing the long game, I'm gonna say things are gonna look real different in 20 years.
Not gonna lie, I do like my nails, but when they get longer, it's really difficult to type. Right now, I love the length, but it's too long to type that doesn't make me feel it's inconvenient. I just feel like, oh, this is not great to type. So voice, not that I've been using a lot, but I do every once in a while. If I start using it even more, then I don't have to cut my nails. So I'm like excited. I can
I'm
have my
totally
nail
with you
art.
on that. I mean, your nails are always cooler than mine, but I literally just, well, I need a manicure, but I just cut my nails because of the exact same thing. They were
Right.
starting to get long last week to the point where, because I'm a pretty fast typer,
Mhm.
I don't need to look at the, I'm good to go. But when my nails are too long, they
Yeah.
start making mistakes.
Yeah.
And I'm just
Oh,
like, oh,
yeah.
I'm just taking too much time, like
Yeah,
fixing all
I
these
keep
mistakes.
pressing the wrong especially on my phone, like, I keep pressing the wrong letter. I'm like, "Why does this happen continuously? This is so annoying." It's because of my nails are getting in the
It's
way.
yeah, it's the nails.
But
It's
anyway.
the nails. All right, well, we're going to take another quick break, and when we come back from that, let's talk holiday gifts because 'tis the season. Well, Eileen, it is December 9th as we're recording this episode. Many of you are thinking about gifts for your loved ones, family, friends, adversaries, whatever. That boss you don't like very much. Whoever you might be looking for a gift for. What is nice about the Apple ecosystem is there are so many third party gifts that you can
Yeah.
give to the person in your life who has the iPhone, has the iPad, has the new Mac Mini, has,
Mhm.
any needs a new keyboard because, keyboards are still in vogue. So yeah, what did you come up with, Eileen?
Okay, so I have something for I don't know, the people who love to create social media content or want to people who use their phone a lot and want to be able to record hands free and something that's
Mm-hmm.
simple and doesn't take up a lot of space. So I am about to share. Okay, this is the Snap Phone tripod stand from Moft. And what's cool about it is that if you're looking at the video, it really becomes a tripod, but the size of it when it's folded is not bigger than your phone. There's a magnet to
No,
have
it's
it.
smaller
Yeah,
even.
it's smaller. And then there's many different angles that you could use this. And you can imagine, like, oh, I don't need to bring my, selfie stick or whatever. You can just have this. I've seen vloggers like who are at cafes and, they don't have and it's actually, more like hidden. You don't look like, oh, there's the girl with the selfie stick and the big old camera.
Right.
Like, you
Yeah,
really
with like a
don't know.
big tripod where you're like, I
Yeah.
need room. Yeah.
Yeah, people don't notice, it, and it just doesn't. It just looks like, oh, maybe you have your phone propped so you could see the video that you're watching, but actually you're recording your video, and it gets many different angles. I think this is nice. It's $39.99, and it comes in many different colors. I have a pink color. There's like blue and
I like the
black
pink.
or
That's cute.
whatever.
It's like a baby
Yeah,
pink.
and I think again, it's really convenient. It easily fits in my purse. And I like having something like that just doesn't make me look like I am recording. You know what I mean?
Well,
Like,
and
I
how
get
many
really, I get
times?
shy about it, and when I do
Yeah.
sometimes bring my selfie stick out and I'm like, oh, I want to record this moment here, but like I just get shy and then I just don't do it, or I do it with my hand and then I don't get the right angles and all that stuff. So
Well,
anyway,
and this can also just be, a way to prop up your iPhone and watch a video.
yeah,
It's like
exactly.
it doesn't have to be like I'm, gonna put this whole cafe on TikTok right now type thing. But
Um,
I'm with you. Like there have been so many times that I didn't have something like this and I don't know, some situation comes up where I'm like, if I only had like a way to prop up the iPhone where I don't have to
mhm.
like stick it into a tree and just be weird
Yeah,
about it, like that
yeah.
would be so nice. This would be something I would just put in a tote bag and just
Yep.
have.
Yeah. Now it doesn't charge your phone. So if you're looking for something like that, that's not what this is. This is basically a replacement for your selfie stick or tripod that is, not intrusive, you know?
Yeah.
Or again, like me, I'm like, oh, I'm a little embarrassed to take this out. I don't want people to know that I'm recording. Well, nobody really looks twice when I have this, so it's really convenient,
Yeah.
and like it's not that expensive. So it took me a while to be convinced, and I did see it a lot on social media, and I'm like, all right, I'm gonna go for it, and I'm glad I did. So
I like
that's my
that.
gift idea. Yeah,
I like that. That's a good one. That's I think that's something that even if someone's like, "Well, I'm not a vlogger." It's like, "Nah, you're going to need this. You're going to like
yeah,
this. You're going to appreciate this." Even if it's like just like a second screen.
exactly.
Like let's say you're not in your regular office for whatever reason and you just kind of you need the iPhone to be something that's not just flat on the table. It's like, all right, I
Hmm.
want to use this. I want to actually make this work as a screen because it is a computer after all.
It is.
Yeah, and W Scottus One says in our chat, when you FaceTime with somebody,
Yep.
exactly, then you don't have to hold the phone. That's the number one reason that when people want to FaceTime, I'm like, I don't want to hold the phone. For more than like 10 seconds, I don't want to do this.
Yeah.
I'm just
Your
like,
hand gets tired.
can
Yeah.
we just, I know what you look like. I just want to like put in my AirPods and not hold this, like, yeah, your hand gets tired. But if you had something like that, I'd be like, it's fine. As long
Yeah.
as I just don't have to hold that, like I have,
Yeah.
I need both hands, people.
Blood circulation, you know what I
All
mean? It
the
gets like all the
things.
things.
All the
So,
things. All right. So, my pick for this holiday season, this is kind of obvious, but for anybody who doesn't have AirTags already,
ah,
whether you have one, whether you have a 4-pack, depending on where you get them from, the prices range a bit. I've seen 4-packs for as low as about $70 online right now. I think
mhm,
Walmart and Verizon's doing a special. If you happen to be a Verizon customer, obviously you can get them from Apple as well. A
mhm,
single Air tag, about $30. So you save money if you get more than one.
right.
But for anybody who doesn't have an AirTag yet, I will say that when they were first announced a few years ago, I was sort of like, yeah, okay, I mean, sure, maybe for luggage, which is, you know, a lot of people use it for luggage. Just to make sure that you understand where, you know, things that are important to you are, especially if they get lost, where they've gone. But I became a convert about a year ago. A friend of mine was watching my dog because they were doing me a favor. I was out of town, and so he put an AirTag on my dog's collar, and
Oh, okay.
it's pretty like you know it AirTags they're fairly thin, you know, and they're only about an inch, you know, like a square inch. So it fit on my dog's collar really well. I mean, you wouldn't even really know it was there, to be honest. And the whole idea was just sort of like peace of mind, you know, let's just make sure that like Otis doesn't, you know, go join the Orient Express somewhere. And there was, you know, I was able to, you know, look at the Find My and make sure that I knew where the dog was. And at one point, I got a notification that like the AirTag was in a sort of a strange place. And so I was like, oh gosh, what happened? And turns out my dog had wandered across the street, not far, but
Yeah.
far enough that I was like, friend. And he was like, I'm on it. You know, we're all
Yeah.
good. I got the same notification. Dog's fine. We're all fine. And that would have been potentially a really different situation if we didn't, you know exactly like, okay, you know, dog went somewhere weird. Where's dog? There's dog on a map. You know, ping, ping, ping. And, you know, the whole thing was over in 5 minutes rather than like, I don't know, I've lost my dog. Now I have to find him at a shelter somewhere type thing.
Aw.
So I will say for anybody who is, you know, an animal friend, this is a potentially really great gift for somebody, even if you have to convince them as to why it is a good gift. I am a huge proponent of that. And then, you know, if you're somebody who loses your keys, you know, throw
Yeah.
an AirTag on your keychain.
Yeah.
It's you know, it really it has enriched my life quite a bit.
I actually threw it in my luggage when went international, just as added peace of mind that you know it
Yeah.
made it to your destination. And you know the airline did a pretty good job of like telling me already, oh, your bag is on the plane. But just as an added, you know, uh, just peace of mind. You know,
Yep.
that helps for luggage and things like that, or just, you know, bigger ticket items that you really don't want to lose, you know. So I like it.
Totally. Yep. I'm a big fan of the AirTag. I mean, put them on your kids. No, I'm just kidding. I think some people do, but no. I Otis has got his little AirTag on his collar, which he likes. He's like, now you know where I am. You know, he's never he's a Velcro dog, so he doesn't really try to ever go missing.
Leave. Yeah.
But you know, when I'm not around, then it is peace of mind for me. Absolutely. Luggage, another thing. And then yeah, just a variety of items that may come and go in your life. Keys obviously being an obvious one. You wouldn't need it for your phone because you can do Find My with your phone already. But yes, I think it's a great gift. Like give somebody a 4-pack, $73 or thereabouts. I would be thrilled if I got that. And I think for the most part, if you know what an AirTag is and you like the idea of it, you probably already have one or more. So that's why I think this is a good gift, because someone's going to be like, what's this? And you say,
Yeah.
okay, here's how it works. And that's where you go, you know, you're kind of like the tech hero of, you know, Christmas dinner.
Thank you for saving me.
Right. Well, you know, we've all been there, right? We've all been there where people
Exactly.
can't tell you how many years people are like, Sarah, so I have this question about, you know, and I'm like, okay,
What is it? All
here we
right, I will
go.
answer your
Yeah,
question. Why not?
tech support. I mean, I don't even have the answers myself all the time, but you know, I'm kind of the, you know, they go like, oh, she's the tech person. in the family. If anybody is, it's me. So anyway, that's my suggestion. If you're looking for the perfect gift for somebody who is in the Apple ecosystem on some level, even though you will probably have to help them understand why this is so great. And once they do, they'll say, "You're the best. You're my favorite niece," or, or equivalent. All right. So Eileen, as we're wrapping up this show, let's talk a little bit about what we're watching on the channels, specifically on Apple TV Plus.
Yeah. So, as we were talking about gifts, then I see this little note here that says 7 days free, then $9.99 a month. I mean, hey, you could give someone 3 or 4 months of Apple TV Plus so they could watch some cool shows. If you wanted to, you could pay for their subscription for a little while.
You could binge a lot of stuff in 3 months.
You could. So currently I'm watching season 2 of Silo. I think I've mentioned this before. To me, it's really riveting. Basically, it's a world where the outside world is toxic, and so people are living in these underground silos, and then they don't know who else is alive, and there's many other silos. They also are questioning if the toxicity outside is still potent, and so some people decide that they want to walk and they want to what's called clean the silo, so you can clean the mirror and just go outside, and people are like, oh my god, and they put on this suit. Da, 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 da. Anyway, multiple people have quote unquote died, maybe, and our in season 2, our lead Juliet, she cleans and she finds another silo. So that's where we're at right now. And like, what happened to those people in that silo? Can she get it up and running? Will she ever decide to go back to her original silo? Those people are like, whoa, most of them think she's dead. And then there's others that are like, I want to get out. I think she made it, And there's all this like political drama with the I forget what Tim Robbins' character's name is, but the mayor? No, not the mayor. Anyway, there's a sheriff, there's a mayor, there's all these people that are, in control, and Tim Robbins is the main guy. But he's like following protocol. There's been protocol written of like how to live in these societies, and he's trying to like make it good for everybody. And people get restless. So
I mean, I don't blame them.
Goodness. You want to see, and some of them, I feel like it sounds like a lot of them didn't see the world when it was, had trees and life, like animals and things like that. So it's interesting, and they've grown up in these silos.
Right.
Yeah.
So the season 1, I'm embarrassed to say this because I liked it, but I didn't finish it. I don't know why. There was another show I was watching at the time, and I was like, I gotta get back to Silo. And then it like time has gone by, and we've talked about this, that I knew season 2 was happening, and so I'm like, you know what? I think I have to do. I have to just like, when you just like declare bankruptcy on, and you're like, I have to start over. I just have to start over because I don't remember enough details for me to be able, even like with like a previously on, it's like, no, I need like to start over. And we're not talking about like 6 seasons. It's just the one.
No, it's
so
just
I'm
the
like,
one.
all right, I could do that. Let's binge that. And then it'll be more fun to binge season 2.
Right. And there is, I'm checking here, 10 episodes. And they're about 44 minutes. They're not long. I mean, they're not even an hour. So,
I mean, it's basically what an hour show would be with commercials, but you don't get commercials, which is also a nice thing about Apple TV Plus. All right. So speaking of Apple TV Plus, Eileen, I don't know how much you are into the Charles Schultz Peanuts ecosystem.
Oh, I'm such a Snoopy fan. I love Snoopy so much. Yes.
So same. Very much so. So A Charlie Brown Christmas, which was originally released in 1965, and I was not aware. I thought the Great Pumpkin, the Halloween Peanuts show was the first one. No, it was A Charlie Brown Christmas. I looked it up. Before the show. did my research. And so this has been on TV, on PBS,
Yeah.
I think, as of late, and some other channels for like a million years, right?
Yeah.
Well, now it's not on traditional television. It's on Apple TV Plus.
Oh, this is
That's where
the
you
only,
can
I
find
didn't
it.
know this. This is the only place you can watch it at this point?
This is the only place you can watch it. Now, listen, anything that's been around since 1965,
Yeah.
you're
It
going to
exists
have other
somewhere.
options. Like,
Yeah.
it's you can probably find it on YouTube in a variety of places. But if you want to just kind of watch it in a traditional TV sense, and it isn't adorable. For anybody who's not into Peanuts, the comic strip, it's very beloved, and maybe we're showing our age, but I mean, every year I'm like, I have to watch a Charlie Brown Christmas
I
special.
don't know if we're showing age because there's just a lot of things that when I was growing up, like say Hello Kitty, like it's still big. It's still
that's
going.
true.
And I think I'm
Yeah.
pretty sure Charlie Brown, hey, chat room, let me know. Are you guys seeing that your youth of today is still, holds Charlie Brown or Snoopy as beloved? Because I think so, there's even a museum in Japan. I may go to Japan next year, and I was like, oh, maybe I can make it to the Peanuts Museum finally. I never
Is
do.
there?
Yeah. In South Korea, there was a cafe, a Peanuts cafe. So everything was Snoopy, all the characters related, and it had
And
some
Woodstock and
yeah,
Charlie
they were
and
all there.
Linus.
There
and,
was
that's
huge,
so
like,
cute.
statues of them. You could take pictures. I took some pictures with them. And yeah, so I think there's people around the world that still, think Charlie Brown Christmas or Charlie Brown and friends are still cool. I want to say that I don't think we're showing our age on this. I'm going to bet my on this. 'cause
Well,
they're still selling this stuff.
some of the folks in chat saying, yeah, no, we love Charlie Brown Christmas as well. So thank you for saying so. I, speaking of, I don't know, Snoopy themed things around the world. So I grew up next to Santa Rosa,
Oh
California.
yeah, uh-huh.
And Santa Rosa is not where Charles Schultz grew up. I think he's from Minnesota. But he spent like the second half of his life in Sonoma County,
Yeah.
which is where I'm from. And Sonoma County loves all things Peanuts.
Yeah.
The Santa Rosa Airport is called the Charles Schultz Airport, and everything is Snoopy. When you go in and out of the airport, Eileen, you would love it so much. There's an ice rink that's all Snoopy themed.
Ooh,
There's
fun.
there's a Peanuts museum next to the ice rink that I
Yeah.
mean, kids go to like as a kid you would go there on like a field trip.
Yeah. Ooh, fun.
Yeah,
I love it.
It's Peanuts crazy. So that is it's certainly a place in the world that that you could enjoy that as well. Yes, but yes. So anyway, Charlie Brown Christmas was always just so adorable because it's so wholesome. It's always
Yeah.
about it's about, well, what's really the spirit of Christmas?
Yeah.
And so many movies do that, but this one is just a heartstring. Oh, does it tug?
I know.
It tugs.
Oh,
Tugs
the
at
other
heartstring.
day I saw something on social media, which was the clip of when Charlie Brown rescued Snoopy. And everybody in the comments were crying, like, "Oh my God!" Snoopy was in the shelter or wherever he was, and just curled up. And I think it was Charlie Brown and Linus go in, and he's like, "I'm gonna adopt this dog." And then Linus said something like, "Well, he was returned, so just know he was returned." And we all know Snoopy has a personality.
Yeah.
But it was good for Charlie Brown, and Charlie Brown was like, "Nope, you're here to stay with me." It was just so hard. But this is just that's
Well,
the tone,
it's-
everybody. In
yeah.
case you don't know,
the whole universe always had a way of saying pretty mundane things that felt like real life.
exactly.
Like
Yeah.
there was There was one, okay, I'm not going to go on and on about peanuts right now, but there was one where, Lucy, who was sort of the bully of the group,
She
she's
kind
always the
of is.
one who pulls the
Let's say it.
football,
Yep.
year after year type thing. Like she's just sort of bossy and,
Hmm.
whatever. And, Linus is her younger brother and he's always around and she's annoyed by him constantly, and she was like having a bad day for whatever reason, and she says something like, I don't exactly remember like the 4-panel comic strip, but she says, just like, God, life, just, what's the point? That kind of thing.
That's so heavy.
Like I'm never happy, like no one's cool, blah blah blah. And Lina says, well, one thing you could remember is that you have a little brother who loves you.
Oh my God.
And then the last panel is her just crying.
Oh.
And I remember I was like, gosh, oh, that's so cute,
Yeah.
Oh
But
gosh.
literally like life lesson, boom, like,
Yeah.
it could be heavy if you take it that way, and obviously Lucy did. So
Yeah, it
anyway,
was so
yeah.
cute. All right. Well, before I start crying, because that's going to happen if we keep doing this, just a reminder, if you have feedback for us, do send it our way, feedback at applevisionshow.com. We're on the internets. Eileen and I are both prolific there. We'd love to know more about what you think, what you like, what you want to see more of, what you want to hear more of. And until next week, I think we'll go ahead and wrap up episode 42. It is the answer to the world, after all. So, find the answer and then report back before next week.
All right. Yes. Find that answer, everybody. Maybe
Find the answer.
You think some people have found it?
Yeah. If you found it already, that's... Oh, the Rudolph special. I loved that. And it wasn't animatronic, right? It was stop motion, the Rudolph special. I used to love that one too. Ken Worf in our chat is reminding me of that.
I don't remember.
I don't remember the Frosty one so much. But now that I think about it, they were both like the same stop motion thing, right?
I'm not going to answer that because I don't know, but chat room, please tell us.
Yeah, the Rudolph one was like, I don't know how to describe it. I don't even remember what happened, but it was like, it was a very cute, kind of for kids, but kind of like just a interesting, it was like a stop motion thing about how Rudolph, made friends and saved Christmas type thing.
Okay.
Yeah.
I don't know if I remember that one. I'm very forgetful these days. So
Well, join the
I need to
club.
like jog my memory on some of that stuff because I know I've seen it. I feel like I've seen everything, but it's been some time, right? It's been some time. So we need to revisit. But yeah. Oh, Charlie Brown, Snoopy.
Charlie Brown.
Yep.
I mean, if you want to hear how much my family likes peanuts and all things peanuts, my mom was a kid, Charles Schultz had, the peanut strip that you would get in the newspaper, and she, the kids loved, Snoopy and all that stuff. And he was like a celebrity, but not at this level at all. He was just, it was like, I don't know, the late 1950s, maybe.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. Yeah, it's a long time ago. And he had like a P.O. box or something. And she sent him a letter and said, can you please, I really love, peanuts. And could you please send me a picture of Snoopy? I would, be so grateful. And he sent her an original 4-panel Peanuts.
No way.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
Like not a print, like fully, like it's on her wall at her house right now. An original print. And what's funny about this is, and I mean, she cherished it forever and eventually got it framed and, there it is.
Yeah.
But at one point we got it appraised because we were like, this might be,
Oh,
kind of worth
yeah.
something,
Yeah.
I mean, it's pretty cool.
Mm-hmm.
And he had, he signed it like on like the third panel, like not in front of anything, but he,
Yeah.
said, "Dear Linnell, here you
Okay.
go, Charles Schultz, Merry Christmas," or whatever it was. Because of that, it's worth less than it would be, but it's still worth kind of a lot of money because you don't
Really?
have a
With
lot
the
of these
name?
anymore.
Why? Because he put his name on the. Why does that
It's
devalue it?
because it was addressed to her.
Oh,
So
oh, oh!
if
I see.
somebody were to
Addressed
get
to
it
her.
at auction, it's like they're getting someone else's print, which is
I see. I
not the
see.
end of the world, but you would want something that was like a little bit clean.
Or just his signature. Yeah. 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 I see.
Exactly.
Okay.
Exactly.
Okay.
Yeah, it was addressed to her specifically, but it's, one of our most prized possessions. And it's Lucy
Oh.
and Schroeder.
I love those two.
Schroeder who plays the piano. Yeah.
Yeah. I
Yeah.
always rooted for them. Like, oh, she always
Well,
loved.
she loved him and he was just
Yeah.
always like, "Leave me alone. I just want to play Beethoven."
That was the only person that could calm her down, like she's like,
Hmm.
"Oh, shoulder," and he's like, "Yeah, hi." Anyway, so cute, those guys.
So cute. I know. I know.
Oh man, oh man. Well, let's see. Good show. I hear my pup is back. I think he's been delivered home from
Oh,
daycare.
is he doing daily
So,
daycare now?
3 times a week now. Yeah. And, he broke his toe or fractured his toe. So he was ramping up. So 2 weeks ago, it was like an hour, twice, 2 times that week. And then last week was like 2 hours. And now we're like, let's get him back 4 hours. So
Yeah.
this is
Just
the first time he's
run.
had a full
Yeah.
day. So
Oh,
I
cutie
imagine he's
pie.
going to be really tired tonight.
Well, Otis the dog, who's he's usually like clockwork as far as sort of like go out, do your business, you know what to
Mm,
do, mom
mhm.
has to come back inside, you take a nap, I work, then we go back out. This morning he was like, "I don't have to go." And I
Oh,
was like, "I think you do." because kid, it's gonna be almost 4 p.m. until we go back out, and then it's almost sunset, and we
yeah.
gotta, yeah, we gotta get it in. He was like, "Don't have to go." Mm-mm. Such a
Oh.
weirdo. I don't know. I don't know why he does that sometimes, but whatever.
Yeah, yeah, I mean, yeah, sometimes I'm like, "What? Are you constipated? Like, what's going on? Why aren't you doing your business?" And he's like, "I
Well,
don't
and
have
it's
to.
funny
I
because
don't have
he'll
to."
be, when he sees me either like putting on shoes or grabbing for my
Yeah.
purse, he's
Mhm.
like, "I'm going.
Yeah.
Wherever you're going, I am also going."
Yeah.
He doesn't just want me to leave without him. That's always,
Uh-huh.
sort of a sad thing where he's just like looking at me out the window like, "Why would you do this?" But then, yeah, once we're out, he's like, "Here we are, but I don't have to do
Mm.
anything. I don't have to go."
Like, "No, dude, do it. Do it
Do
now."
it. Yeah. I even say it, you have to. And he'll look at me and just be like, "Mm-mm, no, don't have to." So, yeah. So tonight should be fun.
Yeah, tonight he's just gonna be like, sleeping, so
Well,
and
yeah.
he didn't nap before he left too, so he's gonna be so tired, but that's
Mm.
okay.
Oh,
Tired dog is a happy dog,
yep.
so
Yep. That's what we always
it's great.
say. That's what we always say. All right. Well, thanks everybody for hanging with us. It's been a lot of fun and we'll see you next week.
Yep, I'm gonna end the stream. Bye, guys.
Bye.